Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where train spotting was just a nice little documentary about trains. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Chad, and today we're talking about the new Danny Boyle film, Trance.
And on Thursday, we're going to be getting back into comics, giving our review of Guardians of the Galaxy and also Secret Avengers.
As always, you can check us out over at Twitter at Epic Geek Out. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Epic Geek Out, and also check out the website, that one's important too, .epicgeekout.com. But let's get into our review of Trance. So Trance is Danny Boyle's latest film. It stars James McAvoy and Rosario Dawson, and it is basically the story of this art auctioneer who kind of gets mixed up in the wrong crowd, and he goes to a hypnotherapist for some solutions to his problems. It takes some twists and turns from that point. But Chad, did Trance leave you in a trance, or were you left a little confused?
Yeah, my mind's racing with questions, not many answers. This is a tough one to review. Yeah, so as a film, it's very confusing. It's very stylized throughout, which is to be expected with Danny Boyle. He's often, does the stylized take on things. The shooting of it was very well done, felt very Danny Boyle to me. But as a storyline, it had promise because it had this cool concept, and I know where he was trying to go with it. It was sort of like a Memento/Inception type storyline.
Kind of a little bit of an Adjustment Bureau too, thrown in with the idea of free will was played with a little bit too. But
unfortunately, I think it was a little bit too indulgent in the concept that it left you a little by the side of the road half the way through. Because I was really engrossed in the story. I was really questioning things. Where's this going? What's going to happen? And where's the solution? And then there's a turn where you kind of aren't sure what's real. And I think that was detrimental because at that point on, I was kind of uninvested in everything that happened because I was questioning what was real. So all the stakes towards the end of the film were, for me, hollow because I'm still not sure what was real, what was not. Because there's a lot of take on the trance part where you're hypnotized and so when he's being hypnotized, you're in that reality with him, but then kind of half the way through they kind of turn that on its head and you're kind of questioning, and again it's kind of cryptic because I don't want to spoil anything, but you're not really sure what's going on and you're not sure what's real, what's fake, and that in and of itself leaves the latter half of the movie without any stakes, and it was kind of unfortunate. It lost me because there was a couple scenes where it was like a back and forth, relationship, romance drama stuff that happened. And at that point, I was kind of, I don't want to see this. I want to see kind of the more action-y part. The heist part at the beginning was awesome, and I love that part of it. And it set up a really cool premise for where it was going to go, and the payoff at the end wasn't paying that off at all. It completely did a twist ending, which you can appreciate because I thought I didn't see it coming, but it didn't pay off what I was hoping it to pay off, if that makes any sense. So I where I was looking for a payoff, it wasn't there, and I think that for me wasn't good. So as a whole, if you're into movies that are confusing and they're kind of mind benders, you're gonna like this because that's what it is. But from pure entertainment value, I wasn't entertained throughout the whole film. There's parts that I was entertained, but I don't think I would revisit it in any sense, and that's a testament because Inception, it was confusing but also entertaining, so going back to rewatch that was awesome, but this, not sure if I would watch it again. Yeah,
I'm going to agree and disagree with some of the points you made. This movie was put together really well. It was edited well. It was just pretty. It was a pretty movie throughout. So, I could definitely, if this movie is ever on HBO, I could just turn it on and mute it and be just happy with it as kind of just, a background while I'm on a computer or something like that. It was shot really well, and I really enjoyed, the use of the camera in it, the movement of the camera, and, just the quick edits and different things like that. But, this movie certainly did have its problems. If you break it down, I really enjoyed the first fourth of the movie, which is kind of the heist part. It's setting up this world. It's the introduction of the characters, things like that. then it gets really muddled throughout. Unlike in Inception when, it's obviously a dream world, but then, another dream world kind of thing. And then it relates to these good action scenes. It really kind of didn't have anything like that, where it had this really cool, like, stylized, like, how heists used to be back in the day in the beginning, and then, how they go about stealing, this painting in the beginning. And then just in the middle, it was just kind of, it felt very muddled to me. And there was no point where I wasn't enjoying the movie, just because, again, how pretty it was and how aesthetically just pleasing the shots were. But then, the story was just kind of meh, and I didn't really care where it was going. And then I really have an issue at the end. I feel like they just wrapped everything up with a voiceover. I think it really could have been left vague, and it could have been more of, you could have decided really what was real and what wasn't, and I think that would have left this movie open to more debate, and not just, it seemed kind of lazy to wrap it up by someone explaining exactly what happened. And it just seems with just, the way this movie was made and, kind of Danny Boyle's past, like that he wouldn't just go for that. So I was really surprised at how it ended, but I enjoyed my time with the movie. I think it's worth going to see. I think you can take a lot from it. Some surprising parts. I think I was like, oh, this is going to happen more. And they definitely leave you points during the movie that you're like, oh, that's weird. And then, it makes sense later. Back, yeah. And it's going to come back. And he didn't try to hide those, which is refreshing, I think, opposed to, a scene you didn't see in a movie that is some relating or anything like that. So I did enjoy the movie. There, it's not overly long, which I think is good. It's kind of on the shorter side too. So I think that helps with it. And so I think it's worth seeing because, he's definitely a director with a purpose and,
Yeah, I think the center part was definitely, there's a lot of lag in it. I think it could have done with one more set piece moment in the beginning or in the middle of it because it was a lot of like talking and stuff. But in regards to the end voiceover, see, I think that for me made it more confusing because the payoff that happens was, I thought, a beautifully spoken kind of like commentary on the issue that it was talking about. Granted, it wasn't the payoff that I wanted, but I thought that was a really cool humanizing moment for all the characters. But then that ending thing kind of made me like hate the person. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but it kind of turned the emotions that I felt from that payoff on and kind of like invalidated them. And I was kind of irritated with that. And then I was kind of like, well, wait, is this like what are they going for here? Is this because then you're expecting it to be something weird out of the box, and then it's like, so like that came back. Does that mean that this isn't real? Like, what is going on? So, I don't know.
And the one other thing, just mentioned, this isn't a special effects driven movie by any means, but there's some cool little special effects thrown in that I just like the way that they were done, and the fact that they were so few and far between. They were shocking, and I enjoyed those little points of the movie. But
cool. So yeah, check it out. It's in theaters now. It's very confusing. If you're up for that, go see it. If not, if that's not really your thing, you want a more straightforward movie, it's definitely not for you. But it's definitely worth a couple of watches probably just to get what's going on because I'm still confused.
Yeah, I mean, you do say that, but I have no interest in watching it.
No, I have no interest.
I mean, I would like someone to explain
but
it
I feel like it's a
I agree,
movie
I agree,
you need to
I agree.
watch to understand. So check it out. It's called Trance.
So it's that part of the episode where we like to give our thanks. Chad, what are you thankful for today?
There's a lot of movies out there that are heist movies, and I love those kind of movies. There hasn't been many recently, but over the years, there's been a ton of like all the Oceans movies. Entrapment's one that's really good. The Thomas Crown Affair, a bunch of those that it's all about the plan of the crime, and I think that those are really interesting and intriguing, and I love them. Another one, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's Robert De Niro and Edward Norton. Do you know which one I'm talking about? I think Marlon Brando's in it too.
Marlon Brando?
Yeah, but yeah, he is. But it was back in the. It was in the 90s. But,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like not recently.
Not recently. But yeah, I love those kind of movies that you're trying to figure out the plan the whole time, and so heist
you love it when a
movies are
plan
great.
comes together.
Exactly. So that's my thanks.
Oh, you're just thanking heist movies in
Heist
general.
movies
I thought
in
you were
general.
going to specify one.
Always.
So I'm going to thank a genre of games that has pretty much died out at this point, but provided some absolute just great times in college. I would like to thank Rock Band, Guitar Hero. Just throw them all together. We had some amazing times in college where we would get the band back together and, set it up. We still, where we're filming right now, it's in the corner, collecting dust because it just, you just don't use them anymore. But I would like to thank Rock Band. I think, they're great to still have around, and, one of these days you get the band back together, and then they are fun, and,
Party games.
Yeah, I agree with that whole, yeah, exactly. Party game sums it up. So thank you, Rock Band, for the fun that you provided.
Cool. So we're going to be back on Thursday. We're going to be talking about some comics for you. But thanks for watching this episode and every episode. And thanks for leaving your comments below. Please do. Keep them nice, if you can. But if not, that's cool too. Because everybody has an opinion, just like we do. You guys have your own opinion.
Yeah.
So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday.